The Milgram experiment was a study which made participants believe that they were actually subjecting electrical shocks of varying degrees to others in another room if they chose the wrong answer. The reason why this study was unethical was because Milgram did not fully explain what the experiment was about beforehand, debriefed, and therefore the participants actually thought that they were causing physical pain to the individuals who chose the wrong answer. This caused emotional stress to the participants during and after the study. In response to this question of ethics, Milgram stated that the participants were fully briefed after the study was complete, and that the participants seemed to understand, and the majority of them were actually pleased that they participated.
I'm not going to kill that man. I mean, who's going to take the responsibility if anything happens to that gentleman?
I'm responsible for anything that happens here. Continue.
All right, next one, slow. Walk, dance, truck, music. I think something's happened to that fellow in there. Get no answer. He was hollering a less voltage. Can't you check in to see if he's all right, please?
Experiment requires you continue, teacher. Please continue.
People really suffered. I mean, guards did terrible things to the prisoners. They punished them by putting them in solitary confinement, which was a small closet. You could squat.
We were told to chant something about how he was a bad prisoner.
That night, he had a breakdown. Every day after that, another prisoner broke down in a similar way. Broke down, I mean, extreme stress reaction. And we released another one on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Nobody who was in that study could deny that the prisoner breakdowns were genuine. They were scary to see. They were upsetting to us. They were unexpected, but they were very clearly the real thing. At some level, we understood that something was happening that we were no longer in control of. It was damaging people. We didn't quite have a grasp on what to do about. Call it what it was, which was mistreatment. We were caught up in the events.
The Stanford Prison Experiment was another study in which participants were assigned a role of prison guard or prisoner. The prison guards started taking their job very seriously after a prisoner rebellion. They would psychologically break down the prisoners by random strip searches, solitary confinement, giving certain good prisoners privileges, and separate jail cells for people who were misbehaving. After just 6 days of the experiment, it was concluded because the guards and Zimbardo became too sadistic.
Phil comes over and look, my God, look at that. And I looked up and something about it just, again, it was the dehumanizing, demeaning kind of treatment. I couldn't watch it.
And she said, it's terrible what you're doing to those boys. And she got
Wrong. It's hair. 75 volts, Jim. You don't know.
Please continue. Some psychologists were
based on the studies that we have just seen, the Institutional Review Board was created to protect the general public when it comes to participating in future studies. The IRB now has a full set of requirements that researchers must fully comply with before they get approval for the study. Otherwise, they'll be deemed unethical and they will not be allowed to run the program.
Clearly, when we say people went to the top of the shock board, it wasn't like they were going blithely, sadistically. People went stop and go, stop and go. They were in a state of conflict, which was created a tremendous amount of stress. So that was the main critique.
This will be at 3:30.
As his voice.
Shortly after I finished this Stanford Prison study, Milgram embraced me and said, I'm so happy that you did this. He said, because now you can take off some of the heat that he's had to bear alone of having done the most unethical study.